Hi, this is Raina. Thank you for joining me on my crochet channel. In this video, we will crochet the bag, and this is my version of the granny square bag. It's made out of 13 of these squares, and I call it XL bag because the design of these squares creates these X's and little O's. So it can also be called Hugs and Kisses bag. And my bag measures about 13 inches from the highest corner to the bottom, and about 12.5 inches wide. And my handle about 18 inches long, and so this is easy to adjust. And I would say this is intermediate skill level projects. The squares are easy to make, but the assembly, the stitching of the squares will definitely need more of your focus and effort. So overall, that's why I would say it's intermediate. And let's see the yarn I'm using. And my yarn choice is Berna Softy Baby Cotton. So this pinkish one is called Soft Plum. This yarn is size 3. It's lightweight. It is 60% cotton and 40% acrylic. And one ball has 254 yards in it. And this cream color is called cotton. And one ball of each is enough. My crochet hook is 3.75 millimeters. You'll also need scissors and finer tapestry needle to attach the squares. And let's get started. And the first step, we'll make the squares. And each square starts with magic ring. I will start with my white yarn, place it across my fingers, the tail facing downwards, then wrapping it around my index finger, making a cross. Now inserting hook underneath the first strand and pulling that second one through, then taking finger out, yarn over and pull through the loop. And now we're ready to make the stitches. We need to do 16 double crochets, so we start with 3 chains, and this counts as the first double crochet. And now just double crochet 15 more, and then you have total 16. And when done with 16 double crochets, now pull the ring tight, pulling the tail, and finish now with a slip stitch in that third beginning chain, and fasten off. And the second round with the second color. This is my pink. Make a slip knot first. Then I'm taking my hook out of the loop, and to join it, first find the double crochet that's right before the beginning chain. So here's the chains, here's the double crochet. Insert hook through the upper loops of that double crochet, then pull the second yarn slip knot through. Now make 3 chains. This counts as the first double crochet. Now make 3 double crochets in next 3 stitches. So next one goes on top of that beginning chain. So 1, 2, and you see I'm holding my white yarn tail, the one I just cut, inside the stitches. So that's gonna remain here within the stitches, and then I don't have to weave in that tail later. There's a lot of tails to weave in. So one more here, and now the corner. In the next stitch, make 2 double crochets, then chain 2 and 2 more double crochets in that same stitch. 1, 2, so 4 total here. Now continue here, make 3 double crochets, 1 in each. Next, 2, 3. Now the second corner, in the next stitch, 2 double crochets, 2 chains, 2 more double crochets in the same stitch. Again, make 3 double crochets here, then corner here, 3 double crochets. We're gonna end this round together. And my white tail is still here. And now I'm back to the beginning stitch. So we have to finish that beginning corner here. I'm going to make 2 double crochets in this stitch. Chain 2. And now make 1 more double crochet in that same stitch. So because we started with 3 chains, that was the first double crochet, but the corners need 2, 2 and 2. Then finish the round with a slip stitch in that beginning 3rd chain. And now I'm going to cut this tail here, the one that was in the stitches. So that one is done. This beginning one I'm going to weave in later, as well as this one. I'm going to show you more about the tails later as we continue the rounds. Then the 3rd round starts from here with 3 chains. It's a double crochet, and now double crochet 1 in each next stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When you reach that corner space with 2 chains, we're gonna do the same corner again. Double crochet 2, chain 2, double crochet 2. So they now go all in that space. Now double crochet 1 in each stitch here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1 in each stitch, and in the corner do the same. 2 double crochets, 2 chains, 2 double crochets. And do this all the way around. We'll finish again together. So here's my last corner of this round. I did 2 double crochets, 2 chains, 2 more double crochets. And now I need to do 1 more double crochet here to finish. And then slip stitch in 3rd beginning chain. And starting round 4 from here, same way, chain 3, double crochet 1 in each next stitch. And now we do the corner the same. 2 double crochets, 2 chains, 2 double crochets. all in this space, and then continue double crochets, 1 in each next. Here you have now 11 stitches to do, and then the corner again. And did my last corner here. So here now we have 3 more double crochets to do, and then slip stitch again in that beginning 3rd chain, and the 5th round is now different. We're going to work with our 2 colors. We still start the same with 3 chains, and then double crochet 1 in each next 4, so we have total 5, 3, 4, 5. The 5th one we need to now finish with a 2nd color, so I'm not going to finish. Leave these 2 loops, take hook out, make a slip knot with your 2nd color, again taking hook out of that, inserting through the working loops here, and then through the slip knot, and pull it through the loops. Now we're ready to continue with the 2nd color. And now about the tails here, so this one will remain back here. Now bring this one, the 1st color working yarn, we didn't cut it off. Bring it here, keep it within the stitches, because on the 2nd side we have to continue with it, and start working with a 2nd color yarn, and make a double crochet in the next stitch. And you see this one remains here inside the stitch. And now make 1 double crochet, 1 in each next, 4 and 5 here. Then we do the corner the same, still bringing this yarn along here. 2 double crochets, 2 chains, 2 double crochets. Now continue here in stitches 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 5th one. Now switch back to the 1st color. So I pulled through with the same yarn, and last 2 loops now bring up that 1st color and pull through with that. And that's now how we can continue with the 1st color. We need to make 5 double crochets with that, and this one remains again with inside the stitches to continue later. So 2, 3, 4, and the 5th one. Now switch back to that 2nd color, bringing it back up here, and pull it through the last 2 loops, and continue 5 stitches with 2nd color. Then make the corner the same, 2 double crochets, 2 chains, 2 double crochets, 5 double crochets in the stitches, and again that last double crochet here, pull through first 2 loops with the same yarn, then switch to the 1st color yarn, pull through last 2 loops, and then to 5 double crochets with that, 3, 4, and the fifth one back to the second color, bringing it up back here and finishing the stitch like that, and continue. Make 5 double crochets, one in each next stitch, and then the same corner, 2 double crochets, 2 chains, 2 double crochets, and we'll finish here together. And now to finish the square, I did the last corner, 2 double crochets, 2 chains, 2 double crochets. Continue with my second color. I need to make 5 more double crochets here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and now the fifth, the last stitch, I'm going to finish it with my first color. So pull, like before, pull the last 2 loops through with that, and I'm now going to slip stitch in that beginning third chain to finish. And so we're finished with a square. So let's cut off those 2 yarns here, leaving a tail, fasten off, and just want to show you back here these 3 tails here on that last round we're going to use to stitch the squares together. These 2 beginning ones you can just weave in and cut off. And my recommendation is to leave these 3 tails about 10 inches long for stitching later. And now go ahead and make 13 of these squares, and then the next step we will attach the squares by stitching them. Squares for the bottom, and I placed my squares here now to show you where the tails of each square should be positioned, so to use them to attach. So you'll see this upper row square tails facing downwards. These tails we're going to use to stitch these sides, and the lower row squares, the tails facing upwards towards the square, so these sides will gonna stitch together with these tails, and so forth, this side and this side, this side and this side. And next I'm gonna show you how I use these tails to stitch squares. And I'm going to start here. I'm gonna take these 2 squares and using these tails stitch first this side, and when that's done we will do this side with these tails. And now looking at my first 2 pieces to sew, I'm placing my tails of the first square here on top side, and the tails of that second square here on the right. And so we do have 3 tails from that last round on each square to use now. I'm going to start with this white tail on the left side, and already put on my needle. And now I'm going to use this version of mattress stitch, except I'm not placing my squares here side by side but this way. I just like this better, so I have a better view of my squares, and I'm going to insert my needle here through both loops of this stitch, and so it's easy to see. We just have to insert through both loops on both sides and going through each stitch. So first from under and up, and then the second side same way, go under, from under and pull it up. So this is my last double crochet stitch on both sides. Tail is almost done, so you can always leave more extra length of tail to do these stitches. I'm also going to stitch through that first chain on both sides. And go one more time through that chain here, pull it up on the wrong side, and it's very short, but I'm going to try and just weave in this end here. And cut off. And so of course didn't mention, but we need to place the squares right side facing. Next, let's bring up this second color, or the first color, my pink, put it on my needle. And so you see we can nicely now use this tail to go through these stitches. There was 5 here. Same way. And again, just the last one more time, go from front to back, and when finished, turn around on the wrong side. I'm just gonna weave in this end, just going through a few stitches here. And done with that. And now that third tail right here. Same thing, so with this tail we can now move from left to right and do the same. And again here I also want to do 1 stitch through the chain on both sides, the corner chain, and inserting hook 1 more time through that last stitch to get to the wrong side, and weave in. And our first 2 squares are together. So this is how we place them. We can now bring the third square. Now I'm going to use these tails to stitch these sides and keep the tails of the third square up here. So when that's done, you can start sewing that fourth square this side with these tails and keeping these tails here. So I'm just gonna turn them the way it's more comfortable for me to work, and we can choose again this left side white tail first. And now just need to do the same, just as with the first two squares, inserting needle through both loops of each stitch on both sides. And we have 3 squares attached now. So this is the position to start to continue. The tails of the third square are facing upwards, and bringing in my fourth square, we need to place it this way, and the stitching tails facing downwards. The fifth square is gonna be here to stitch with these tails. But next I'm going to use these tails and stitch together these sides. And repeat now with all 8 squares, then we can continue the assembly. And 8 squares are now attached. So here, this is my last one I did. And now we're going to fold this whole piece. Just fold it in half. Now we can do this side here using these tails. And now the next step is to attach these first 2 bottom squares. So using the tails, I'm going to stitch this side here, and then cutting some extra thread yarn, stitching this side here. And the same with the second square, use the tails to stitch this side, and then extra yarn to stitch this side. So I've attached these 2 bottom squares now, these sides. And next, turn your piece around and do the same on the other side. So 2 more squares, one over here, one here, using tails to stitch this side, and cut some extra yarn to stitch these sides. And a side note here, when you're stitching the corner of 3 squares, so here I'm first going to go through these chains, first chains, both sides that I was just stitching here as before, but then I also want to insert needle in that through that opposite square corner to bring this closer, so there will not be a big gap, and that will create a nice connection here. And now when all 4 bottom squares are attached on both sides, we have only 1 square left, and this one will go right here like a puzzle piece. So using my tails again, going to first stitch these sides, then with extra yarn this side, and then let's see when this is done the other side as well. And this is done, and just turn your piece around, then fold this bottom square in half, and as you see, we now have 4 more sides to stitch. So here, these 2, then this one, and the last one here. And to start here, I recommend cutting a longer piece of the white yarn. So you start here, then stitch through these. This part, of course, I'm going to again do with my second color, and then I'll continue here, and you see you can also continue here after this corner is done all the way. And when you're done stitching these last 4 sides at the bottom, the next step will crochet the edge and handles. And all squares are attached now, all in one piece. And let's make the edge and handles now. And making slip knot with my white yarn. I'm going to join it here in one of the top corners in that 2 chain space, and I'm going to join it with single crochet, and then just single crochet now, 1 in each double crochet here on this side. All the way to the last one, and then we'll do the corner. And to tighten this corner, I'm going to make 3 single crochet stitches together, inserting hook in each of these 2 chain spaces. So first one goes right here, pull up a loop and don't finish the stitch, then insert hook in the next chain space, pull up the loop, and also in that 3rd chain space and pull up the loop. Now you have 4 loops on hook and pull through all of them, trying to keep them tight, not too loose, and then continue making single crochets in each double crochet here on this side again until the last stitch before the corner chain space. And here in this 2 chain space, just make 2 single crochets, and now repeat this all around. Again, single crochet, 1 in each double crochet here in this corner here. Again, we're gonna do 3 single crochets together, inserting hook first in this space, that's right after that last double crochet, and then in this one, and then in this space, and then continue single crochets on this edge, and up here again just single crochet 2 in the space. And to finish the first round, we're just going to make one more single crochet in this beginning chain space because we started with a 1. And now slip stitch in that first. And the second round, there's a total of 4 rounds of edge. We are going to make the handles here. And from right here, going to chain 90 for the first handle. 3, 4, 5, 8. And now, careful not to twist the chain. I'm going to skip this side and this side, and I'm going to join with a single crochet now in that second single crochet here that I did in that chain space. So that's the first. I'm going to go in the second and single crochet. Now single crochet 1 in each stitch. And again, this corner is different, so single crochet all the way to that, to this middle, until the middle 3. And here I'm going to actually make the same 3 single crochets together. So just watch for these stitches. That's the middle one, the 3 single crochets together we did on the last round. So we need 1 here before that. Insert through, pull up a loop, then through that middle one, pull up loop, and through the next one as well, pull up loop, and pull through 4 loops. Now single crochet again, 1 in each till the next corner. And now we're up here on the other side of the back, so that's where we need to do that second handle. So here are my 2 single crochets I did in a chain space. I'm going to single crochet 1 in both of them, 1 and 2, and from here I will now chain 90 for that second handle. And again, making sure my chain is not twisting, skipping this side. Here, again, I'm going to single crochet in that second single crochet in this chain space. Now single crochet 1 in each, and when you get to the bottom corner here, again do the 3 single crochets together here, inserting hook in this one, and this one, and then again single crochets, and we'll finish the round together up here. To finish round 2, I'm going to single crochet 1 more here in this beginning stitch. So when you count on both sides on round 2 between the chains, so here you have total of 40 stitches, including that 3 single crochets together here we did. So you can check and count 40 stitches. And now round 3, I'm going to go into that first chain, be a bit tight, and start single crocheting in each chain first. Okay, I finished my 90 single crochets here, and then here just going to continue 1 single crochet in each stitch until the next corner. And here again we do the same, 3 single crochets together. Start the first, start the second, that's the middle one, and the third, and pull through 4 loops. Now continue single crochets on the side. And when you get to that second handle, just single crochet 1 in each chain. And repeat. And we will then again finish the round together. And I just made a single crochet in this last stitch here before I started the chains once. And from here I'm just going to continue. And the last round, 4, is the easiest. Just single crochet 1 in each stitch all around. When you get to the next corner here, let's do that one together. And here in this corner we're gonna do the same, the 3 single crochets together. Pull up loop first, the second, and then third, and continue single crochets. So repeat to the second handle and the corner as well, and we'll finish together. And did my last stitch here. This is where the chain single crochet started, and here I'm just going to slip stitch to finish and cut off, fasten off. And so now it's really nice. We only have these 2 ends to weave in because we did all the work with all the tails already on the squares. So that's a nice way to finish this bag. And here's my finished bag. So this is a nice one to carry around in summertime. I hope you like this tutorial and have fun with making your own bag. You will find the written pattern on my blog. The link is below the video in the description box. Thank you so much for watching and happy crocheting!